Welcome to this explainer, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through one of the most profound, majestic, and revered stories in all of ancient scripture. Today, we're unpacking a katha, a sacred narrative from the Ganesh Puran. We're going to explore the spectacular events that led to the birth of Gajanan, better known as Lord Ganesha. But listen, this isn't just your standard origin story. It is a mind-bending exploration of destiny, the inescapable laws of karma, and the incredibly heavy burden of cosmic duty.
So picture this. How does a moment of pure, absolute joy, happening in literally the safest, most heavily guarded room in the entire universe, suddenly turn into a catastrophe of cosmic proportions? That's the exact mystery we're unraveling today. And to really understand it, we need to go back to where it all started.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the Divine Assembly.
Chronologically, we're starting right at the very top of Mount Kailash, and the texts describe this place not just as some physical mountain, but as the absolute epicenter of unbreakable tranquility. I mean, the air itself carries medicinal fragrances, and there's this continuous, soothing sound of Om echoing through the icy caves. Now, notice the stark contrast we have here. On one side, you've got the supreme peace of the Divine Assembly. You have the ultimate trinity, Lord Shiva in deep, tranquil meditation, Lord Brahma reciting verses of creation, and Lord Vishnu, the preserver, radiating this calming, golden light. It's a picture-perfect scene of divine harmony. But then, in walks Shani Dev, the Lord of Justice. And unlike the other joyful gods, his arrival is heavy. It's solemn. He is totally filled with a deep, palpable anxiety, and his eyes are cast firmly to the floor.
Moving right into Section 2, Shani Dev's Cursed Gaze.
Okay, let's dive into this, because Shani Dev hasn't just come to hang out at the assembly. He cautiously negotiates his way past Lord Shiva's massive, trusted guards, Nandi and Vishalakshas, just to reach the doors of Mother Parvati's inner chambers. His sole purpose? To ask permission to catch a tiny glimpse of her newborn child. But he stands before Mother Parvati utterly terrified. He explains his tragic backstory. You see, his wife, who was a great ascetic herself, once approached him, but he was so deep in meditation on Lord Krishna that he completely ignored her. Big mistake. In a moment of immense fury, she cursed him, and the terrifying reality he's now bound to? Whoever I look at directly is immediately destroyed. Think about that. He is the Lord of Justice, literally carrying around a destructive burden in his eyes.
Hearing this terrified plea, Mother Parvati responds with total maternal confidence. Actually, she laughs. She literally laughs it off. To her, this is just an ordinary fear. She is Adi Shakti, the Supreme Mother, and she asserts, look, this is Lord Shiva's child, meaning he is totally immune to any worldly curses. So driven by absolute maternal pride, she straight up commands Shani Dev to lift his head and look at her beautiful baby. So what happens when a mother's absolute belief collides head-on with the cosmic, inescapable law of karma? Shani Dev is completely trapped here. He cannot disobey the command of the Supreme Mother, but he also knows exactly how heavy his curse is. With his heart pounding, totally terrified of cosmic law, he makes a fateful decision. He decides he won't look directly. Instead, he just slowly, very carefully glances at the child using only the extreme corner of his right eye.
Which brings us to Section 3, Chaos in Kailash.
The very millisecond that cautious glance lands, the safest room in the universe shatters. It is a rapid-fire catastrophe. In the first millisecond, the child's head is instantly severed with a deafening roar and literally just vanishes into the sky. In the very next millisecond, Mother Parvati lets out a scream that shakes the mountain, and she faints in pure shock. By minute 1, a panicked Nandi is rushing this horrific news to the Grand Assembly, and by minute 2, and honestly, this is a staggering detail from the source text, Lord Shiva, the Supreme Destroyer himself, faints upon hearing the fate of his son. Let that sink in. The Creator and the Destroyer both brought to their knees. By minute 3, it is Lord Vishnu, the Preserver, who has to step up to prevent the universe from completely collapsing under the weight of this grief.
And that leads us to Section 4, Srihari's Quick Decision.
There is absolutely no time for mourning here. Vishnu knows that if Mother Parvati wakes up and her grief turns to wrath, the entire universe could be consumed. So, acting with resolute, cold determination, Lord Vishnu immediately summons his divine eagle mount, Garuda. They shoot off toward the north at lightning speed to find a pure creature to sustain the divine child. But listen, Vishnu isn't just looking for any replacement. This is a highly calculated, deeply intentional search. He knows the destiny of this child is monumental. He's looking for a being worthy of an unprecedented cosmic destiny, the absolute purest, most powerful creature whose essence can actually handle the divine energy of Shiva and Parvati's offspring.
So we enter Section 5, Salvation of the Elephant.
This search leads Vishnu straight to the banks of the serene Pushpabandra River. Down there, a giant, majestic, glowing elephant, a Gajraj, is sleeping peacefully right alongside his mate, the Hathini. It's this perfect picture of total innocence in the mortal realm. And what unfolds next brilliantly illustrates the heavy, painful burden of cosmic duty. Vishnu doesn't do this out of malice. It's a terrible necessity. With deep reverence and a really heavy heart, he first summons his invincible weapon, the Sudarshan Chakra. He silently apologizes to the innocent creature and severs the majestic Gajraj's head. But remember, Vishnu is the preserver. Crucially, he later ventures into the forest, brings back another elephant's head, and actually resurrects the Gajraj so that he can fulfill his own ultimate destiny.
But man, before that resurrection happens, the immediate fallout is devastating. The Hathini wakes up to sheer horror. Her husband is dead. And in her profound grief, she doesn't just cower before the gods. No way. She angrily grabs the wing of the mighty Garuda and demands justice straight from Lord Vishnu. It's such a powerful, raw moment in the narrative because it shows us that massive divine actions and cosmic equations have very real, very painful consequences in the mortal realm.
So how in the world does this conflict resolve? On one side, you have the Hathini's furious, completely justified demand for her husband's life. But on the other, there's this beautiful theological twist. When Vishnu resurrects the Gajraj with a new head, the Gajraj isn't angry at all. He actually expresses profound joy. You see, in Hindu theology, being struck down directly by Lord Vishnu grants immediate moksha, or ultimate liberation. The Gajraj feels incredibly honored that his original head was chosen to serve a supreme divine purpose.
Which brings us to our final act, Section 6, The First Worshipped.
So Lord Vishnu rushes back to the tragic scene at Mount Kailash carrying this glowing elephant head, ready to heal a broken mother and restore the universe's balance. But, as you might guess, healing isn't instantaneous. Mother Parvati faces one final test. When she awakens from her swoon and sees an animal's head grafted onto her precious child, she doesn't immediately rejoice. She is furious. I mean, she is a mother in deep pain. She actually accuses Lord Vishnu of being jealous, thinking he's plotting to lessen her son's status by making him look like a beast. And honestly, it's a deeply relatable, purely human reaction from a supreme goddess.
To calm her down, Lord Vishnu drops the ultimate cosmic reveal, the concept of Pratham Puja. That means the supreme deity who absolutely must be worshipped first, before any other god. Vishnu explains to Parvati, listen, this elephant head doesn't lessen your son, it elevates him above everyone else in the cosmos. He tells her the child will possess unparalleled intellect, wisdom, and power. No ritual, no prayer, no divine undertaking will ever be successful unless her son is worshipped first.
With that profound understanding, the child breathes again. He awakens as Gajanan, the elephant-faced lord. And just like that, the heavy grief that was suffocating Mount Kailash instantly evaporates. Every single god, including Shiva and Parvati, steps up to bestow their ultimate blessings and weapons upon him. They completely turn the mountain's absolute darkest day into its most triumphant, joyous celebration.
Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground today, right? Moving from the icy peaks of Kailash down to the rivers of Earth and all the way back again. But before we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. How might the apparent tragedies in our own lives just be the very beginning of a much greater divine plan? Just like the devastating loss of this child's head was the necessary catalyst to elevate him to Pratham Puja, the supreme first worshipped, maybe the painful, totally inexplicable moments we face are really just the universe weaving our own intricate destinies. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep questioning, keep learning, and keep seeking the wisdom behind the story.